Do you have any last words?
You won't kill us yourself! You wouldn't sully your hands, but you'll damn us to a black hole for eternity! Jarrell was right. You're a pack of fools! Every last one of you! And you believe your son is safe? I will find him. I will reclaim what you have taken from us. I will find him. I will find him, Lara. I will find him!
What is going on, movie lovers, and welcome back to the 5 on It podcast. I am Francisco.
And I'm Sir Frazier.
On today's episode, with Supergirl about to get released in theaters, we decided to go and review not Superman, the one with David Cornsweet with the new DCU, but we went back to the Snyderverse, to the Man of Steel semi-classic, I would say. It's still well received. But before we dive into that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Try to help the channel out with your other fellow movie lovers. Drop a like, a comment, drop your favorite DCEU or DCU movies below. Is Man of Steel one of your favorites or not? Let us know. But Sir Frazier, tell the people about Man of Steel.
Man, this one was directed by Zack Snyder. Something I didn't know was that the writer, so it was written by David Goyer, who developed the story with producer Christopher Nolan.
The Blade movies, too.
David Goyer?
Yeah, he wrote the Blade movies.
Oh.
He wrote Blade 1 and Blade 2, and then he directed Blade Trinity, which is like...
I'm offended.
I'm offended for the Blade Trinity.
I'm offended.
But you did Blade 1 and Blade 2. You got a special place.
2 was... sufficient.
I like it. I like
They
it.
had some good moments for sure, but 3 lost me, bro.
They completely lose it in that one.
That was like an early example too of these fucking comic book movies just struggling mightily when it came to the third film. Spider-Man 3, anybody?
Yeah.
X-Men 3, hello?
I want to say too, it was like a...
That shit was ass.
I would say it was like a small template for the Deadpool character as well. You saw Ryan Reynolds in there with his like with his sword and like doing his little thing and like talking all the time. So maybe it was just like an early introduction. Obviously, you see another small introduction to that Deadpool character in X-Men Wolverine, the Origins movie, which was a shit show. But and then we get the regular the real Deadpool later on. But you know, there was some good stuff with that Blade trilogy, but the third one definitely dropped the ball.
Yeah, it was rough. Don't recommend it. This movie stars Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Michael Shannon, Kevin Costner, Diane,
Uh-oh. That we got him, guys.
and Laurence Fishburne. One of the, I mean, dude, man, this movie killed it at the box office. They had a budget of upwards of $258 million, and they made 670, which is pretty damn good.
I didn't realize it would make so much money. I didn't really look at that.
Yeah. I have to confess, man, I am not a Superman fan. I find the character on his own a bit boring. I feel the same way about Hulk to some degrees. Like when you're so overpowered and he's like, oh, what is your biggest enemy? Oh, the anger.
It's myself.
It's myself. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Okay. Listen, we're all battling demons. Okay. We're all shadow boxing our own demons. Okay. So like, don't come at me with this bullshit. But like, I just like, to be fair, like I initially, I remember when they were coming out with Captain America, and Chris Evans was cast, I was kind of like, damn, like, they're giving us this character. Like, I don't know, man. Is this really gonna have much traction in this day and age, like this character? And I was wrong.
Yeah.
But like that character, even though he has such a strong moral compass and is like, I guess like kind of like pure of heart, right? He's that's why he's like able to wield Mjolnir. But like he's still human. He's still very much capable of dying. He's not invulnerable.
Yeah. It's not bulletproof.
But we also like see him, we get a really layered experience of him as a character because he's literally plucked out of his own time and dropped in the modern world. Yeah. So he's navigating all of the 21st century for a man who disappeared in the 40s. So like there's some things that are really captivating about that character.
Mm.
With him, like, I get the Boy Scout and Superman, but I'm also like, all right, man, like, okay, I don't know, like, this character, he just doesn't really do it for me. He's an icon. I don't mean that. That's not even disputable. Like, he is the prototype.
Yeah, I mean that's why like he's kind of called Superman, I suppose. But like I kind of lend into that, like, and even when I'm watching the action scenes. And yeah, there's like, I mean, maybe some people have like their discrepancies with it because there's so much destruction, and we all know how many. The death toll is super high when you're seeing these two just superhumans just go at each other at the end with General Zod and Superman.
It's like Invincible.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, like I got more like thrills out of watching the opening scene when I was watching Jor-El and Zod go at it, because it felt just more like grounded, because yeah, these are two super people, but like I like the hand-to-hand combat, like type of fighting and type of action. Like, yeah, I can get with the whole just like ramming people into buildings and throwing them into space, and like it's very like kind of like to use like the Invincible show as well. Like they're going like way over the top, but like when you can mix in the hand-to-hand combat, the like the technical aspects, and show like some camera tricks and things like that, I feel like that's kind of where the movie was lacking a little bit, because I am more of a Batman fan. Like, obviously I'm more of a Marvel fan because they just have like, I mean, their hit to miss record was crazy during this time. But yeah, like Superman just doesn't quite really do it for me, because I don't know. It's just, there's just something missing about him. Maybe it's just that grittiness. Cause like when you have a Batman, there's just so much that you can have some of the levity. You can have the drama, obviously with the parents. You can have the good action. You can like, I feel like this movie, even like when I came from watching it, I was like, man, I feel like there was something, even with the cinematography was like, it was, I'm not going to say it was poor, but watching like the newer Superman with James Gunn's DCU, there's some shots in there, especially like when he comes up from the smoke and you see him like kind of like the angle is like super far away and you almost just see like Superman's silhouette and all the smoke. There was just some shots, at least in even more of like the more recent Superman, that stood out more. There's like not a really even like a shot in this movie that I can feel that like really stood out where I'm just like, man, I could stop this movie and print it out and put it on a poster. There's just some stuff with the character that just doesn't really like, does just make me like gravitate towards it.
I think there was a couple of shots that I thought would look really great. It's interesting too, just kind of thinking about this movie, given Gunn's recent installment in this franchise, because it's so much brighter.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder, this is a lot darker. And that's why I think a lot of people who really love that character, Superman, I've read that they love that about James Gunn's use of color in that movie, because it felt more hopeful.
Yeah.
It felt more in line with the character that a lot of fans fell in love with. Like those,
a little more true to the comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a way that this one just doesn't. It definitely, it's funny. I mean, Nolan obviously was involved in this behind the scenes, and it definitely kind of lines up with his depiction of Gotham.
Yeah.
What he presents is for Metropolis.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? There's two shots that I think really did kind of stand out to me. The first one is when after Superman turns himself in and he's walking towards the interrogation room with the handcuffs and the men are around him. That was a pretty iconic shot for me, or that was like a really great shot. And even the scene that follows that was a highlight when he's talking to them about, you can't control me, you never will, but I'm not your enemy.
Yeah.
Like that moment. But also another shot that really stood out to me is when he is just outside of Earth's atmosphere looking down on Earth. That was I thought that was a really good shot. Kind of reminded me of like some of the promos for the last season of The Boys with Homelander. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take it back just a little bit. Cause now I'm thinking about it. Especially like the outer space shots are really good.
That one was good.
Dude, especially when you have Superman and he's in the ship and he's talking to Jor-El, the consciousness of him, however you want to think about it. But he tells him like to like pretty much point or punch out the wall, whatever. And then you see like Earth is exposed, and you see the ship that Lois Lane is in, and he's like, you could save her and all that type of stuff. And then he floats out, and then he goes in. Well, first, like it wasn't a little bit on the corny side when he kind of just floats out. I thought he would have just kind of rocketed out of there. But I was like, okay, I don't know why you're doing this little floating shit, but oh well. But yeah, those shots, like when you should see Earth and everything, like those are really like the effects. All in all, I feel like even
Pretty
for
good.
2013, it's not that long ago or anything. It's not like 40 years ago, but everything's like looked really crisp too. Like even in all like the fast paced fighting scenes, the buildings crashing, the water.
Oh yeah,
I feel like nothing like really stood out. Like because let's say like more of a recent film that kind of borrowed from Man of Steel was like The Flash movie. Like the baby scene, like there was some moments in that movie where it's like, ugh, this looks like shit. There was no moments where like I got that feeling, at least from this movie. But yeah, there are, I'll take it back just a little bit, at least with the shots, but still I feel like one negative for this movie is like the color palette and like the tone, because
it doesn't really suit the character.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It just doesn't. I guess. I haven't seen the gun one. I was like, yeah, this does look better for him,
especially
because like Batman doesn't look good in that kind of lighting. You want that dark, gritty. You need that.
Yeah. And watching Man of Steel and then watching James Gunn's Superman, like I watched it like just back to back. I didn't really sit down and watch it like I did this one, because obviously we wanted to have a discussion about it. But I just put on the background. I've seen it before, but it just kind of just, obviously the colors pop more. Some people might say like, oh, it's more Marvel-esque. It's like, no, it's just using brighter colors to, I think, to make a better depiction of the
I was going to say, because
character.
what do they mean like that's Marvel-esque? Because I mean, not all Marvels have the same color palette. The color palette of Guardians versus the Captain America franchise are completely different.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like some people just have that narrow mindset of like, if it's bright and like and have like some jokes in it, it's going to be like a Marvel type movie, which is another thing where like this movie is like, it's a solid movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not poorly made or anything. The performances are great. The effects are outstanding. I think the writing was still well done. I didn't even realize Christopher Nolan had like a finger in it until I saw the Syncopy coming up at the end. And I was like, whoa. But then I had to look, I was like, how much was he involved? Was it just a name? And it said he actually had a huge hand in it. Like he actually like
he helped develop the story.
Yeah, helped develop the story with David, and then actually handpicked Zack Snyder to like direct the movie. They said he actually advised to not do the whole death at the end. He was like, I'm against Superman killing Zod, but it's like, I don't know, the way they wrote it and the way they they put that character in that position. It's like, what else you want that man to do? You have to kill Zod. Even they tell you Zod's like, either you die or I do. Nothing's going to stop, and he's going to kill innocent people. So I don't necessarily disagree with like that statement, but I mean, I don't want to be like all over the place right now. But the colors just like really stand out when you watch these movies like back to back, and just like the suit is just
definitely
pops more. The characters pop more. I feel like you even bring in some of like the levity and some of the jokes that don't take away from the seriousness of the movie and like some of the drama, but it breaks up some of the monotony, because watching this movie from like the opening and the end, like obviously those are like the main action, and you get a little bit of the tornado scene when Pa Kent dies, but it felt like almost a little bit of a slog to get through, because there was nothing to kind of break up this like seriousness of the tone of the movie. It was just all seriousness, all drama. We're at like not DEFCON 5, but it's like it's just way too serious a little bit for me, because I need a little something to break up this runtime for 2.5 hours. I need a little something more.
Yeah, and the whole flashbacks, I kind of had mixed feelings about it. Part of me, thought that we're getting like these insights into these really impactful moments in his kind of evolution and his like growing his relationship with just humanity. When he's a kid and he's bullied, but he saves the school bus, or that moment when he has his confrontation before the tornado happens, where he's like, you're not my father. He's like kind of like, God. Yeah, he's like, he did with some like, I mean, I was like, bro,
what a dick.
Yeah, man, for real.
Superman.
Like, damn, dude.
Voice go. I heard about
for real. Those were some really great scenes. But I wonder though, if it would have been different if we could have like gotten the backstory of him early on, because sometimes it does feel a little like the story just feels disjointed at times when you're going back and forth in time.
Yeah.
And that's not always true. Like there's plenty of movies well,
like Tarantino does it, obviously.
Tarantino has definitely done that, going back and forth in time. But I was thinking The Usual Suspects. Everything through that is told in flashbacks.
Yeah.
And so, or most of it is. So I'm like, there's an effective way to do that. I don't know. It's like, it did feel a little disjointed, and I kind of found myself like being pulled like out of the moment.
Maybe that has to just do with some of like just the editing, some of the editing choices, or like where, depending on where you want to put some of the flashbacks, maybe some of them feel a little bit more jarring when it comes up. Because even when he gets up to the ship and Superman is like struggling to breathe, and then Zod is pretty much like, it's kind of like if you're hitting that J too hard, it's like he's got to ride it out. Nothing I can do, he got to ride it out. And then it jumps to him, I was like, are we at but I just in my mind I was like, are we at another flashback right now? But I was like, oh, we're not at a flashback. Like Zod's just in his mind, but I just like kind of blurted out loud. I'm watching the movie, just like, are we doing that again right now? Like, how many times are we gonna like have the story like go to like when he's an adult, but then now we're going back to a kid, and then back and forth. It's like the back and forth can get a little overwhelming.
Yeah, they're saying that in that scene in particular where he's using, I guess, their technology to enter his mind.
Yeah.
That scene though, I thought showed some really great acting from Michael Shannon. You get a sense of how he felt about Jor-El, how he respected him, but he's literally was raised to be a warrior and to protect Krypton at all costs, and to make sure that his people live on. And that's all he knew. That's all that's what his purpose was. And he says that, you took that from me. And I thought some of his dialogue when he's talking to Superman were some of the strongest. Even when Zod is talking to Jor-El's holographic memory, that, first of all, conceptually, that was a really cool part of this movie. I really dug that. But that moment between them where you're really seeing just their difference in philosophy and values really just collide. Yeah. And I thought that was another really strong scene.
Yeah, like Michael Shannon probably gives like probably the best performance of the movie, maybe next to like Russell Crowe. I think for me,
I think that's true.
I think those two were just. I'm not going to say like carrying the movie or anything, but they were just a huge standout. Especially Zod. Like every scene he's damn near in is a standout, and especially like whether you get like his calm demeanor when he's talking to Jor-El, or when he's starting to go berserk when he's talking to Superman, or even the Council when he's like, "I will find him." Like, oh God, it's like you even see the look on the wife. Which shout out to her, she's Kingpin's wife too. When I saw her, I was like, "Oh shit, that's old girl from Born Again and Daredevil." But seeing Zod, Michael Shannon, and Russell Crowe, but like when you see them fighting at the beginning, I'm like, Jor-El got them hands.
Yo,
Jor-El was putting the paws on him.
He was dusting him.
Yeah,
he really was.
That just shows you how capable
he had to cheat to win.
Yeah, yeah.
He had to stab him.
But stab him when. Dude, I'm like,
when he's literally looking at his child leave.
He was just like, it's like, bro, why don't you focus a little bit more on this guy that's trying to kill your son and you? Man. But I'm not sure if he just expected that or he didn't care. But I'm like, bro,
I mean, he knew they were all gonna.
They were all done. But maybe you should die in the arms of your wife and not by the blade of your enemy.
Yeah. I couldn't help but think about Marlon Brando's depiction of Jor-El in the original Christopher Reeve's Superman. I love that scene where he's basically pleading his case with the panel of like Krypton's leaders about, we have to leave this planet, it's going to be destroyed. That's such an iconic scene, and I did, like, they definitely clearly, they did their own interpretation of that scene. Okay. But I doubt this movie did open up strongly.
I feel like that was maybe like a selling point to Russell, like somebody like Russell Crowe, who is like a hugely accomplished actor, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And like this isn't like a huge role. Obviously, you're not the lead or anything.
Mhm.
Like, because when you approach Russell Crowe, you're probably going to approach him about a lead, or just like something that has like a strong impact on the movie, which he does. But also just telling him like, hey, you're playing a role that the legendary Marlon Brando played as well.
Mhm.
So to be spoken in like the same light as him, I'm sure that was a big selling point.
Okay, I got a question for you.
I
This
had
is
a question for you
unrelated.
too as
We're
well.
about to get into the weeds. But given the Odyssey is coming out, and we're just talking about Russell Crowe, I got a question for you. Head to head, which movie is better? Gladiator or Troy?
Well, actually, I haven't seen Troy.
Oh my God, that's
I've only seen
for real.
I've only seen
Put it on the
scenes of
list.
it.
That is
So,
such a great movie.
we're gonna have to come back to that question, like maybe in a future episode. So you guys are gonna have to like revisit a future episode if you want my answer. But obviously, I have to pick Gladiator right now. But Troy does. I've heard good things. Like for some reason,
Troy's a great movie.
I feel like maybe like my memory was misserving me. I thought like people like hated Troy or something like that. So maybe I should just stood away from it.
Real.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should
Who are
look up
these
like what did
weirdos?
it get as rating wise. But
It literally dropped just a few years after.
damn, 2 hours and 43 minutes. Shit, I'm gonna have to have like a couple of snacks with this one.
Yeah, it does cover a lot.
But well, it kind of got the same type of reviews as Superman. Got like a 53 from the critics, 74 from fans. I mean, we don't need to get into the weeds on how Rotten Tomatoes does their thing. If you know, you know. But if you don't, you don't. But yeah, I'll have to watch Troy and give you my answer at another time.
Yes, it's a dope ass movie.
It's a dope movie.
I don't know if I put it above Gladiator, but I do love Troy, man. It's a badass movie.
You would pick Gladiator too?
I think so. But it's not a big gap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's close for me.
Now,
I have great memories tied to both.
you got.
I used to rewatch Troy a bunch, man, when I was in
clips
college.
that I see off of YouTube. I mean, like I said, the combat scenes, the fighting scenes look like they're well shot, well acted. Eric Bana is in it. A fan of his work as well.
Mhm.
So it seems like a movie I would definitely dig. But I thought like maybe the 53% when I saw that when I was at a younger age and I didn't know how the Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah,
kinda work.
yeah.
You know, you see a 53, you're probably like, it's bullshit. But then when you figure out like, just half people like it, half people don't. So it's like maybe I'll just fall on the side that actually does like it.
I'll say this: I think it's a better movie than 300, easily.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Easily. The best thing about 300 is the visuals. The acting
is
is
true.
not great. I think the acting in Troy is better.
Yeah.
The visuals are, I mean, this is more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as, it doesn't have like that comic book aesthetic.
That over the top type.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, yeah. A lot more grounded.
I mean, yeah, 300, I mean, that's the best thing about 300. The visuals are just amazing.
Yeah, that is true. Now, what I was going to ask you, is with this, obviously we were talking about General Zod and Michael Shannon was such a standout, I feel like, for this movie. Thinking of just not necessarily like villains or just like antagonists as a whole, I was thinking like who do I personally put as like a tier 1 like villain in horror movies? I mean,
horror?
No, did I say horror? My bad. Not horror movies, just in all types of movies, like not just like I said, not maybe villains itself or just antagonists against the protagonist, like who are just like some standouts, like because obviously ones that are on tier 1 for me, a Joker from Dark Knight,
for sure,
Thanos, Darth Vader, Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men. But I was like, I'm not sure. Like, I'm just watching this, I'm like, would I put General Zod on that tier 1 level? Like,
no.
I don't know. Like, he was pretty good, man.
Really? You put him up there with...
I'm kind of thinking out loud. That's why I'm asking myself the question, but I'm also asking you this question. Like, not only would you put Zod on a tier 1, like, who would you consider like a tier 1 antagonist? Like the same ones that I said, or is there any ones that...
Hannibal Lecter would be a tier 1. I got another one for you.
Maybe Jaws, the shark in Jaws.
Well, I mean, that's like more monster because I was thinking like Alien or any of those. I guess like I wasn't thinking monster so much.
Okay.
But we're talking about if we're including those. I guess I feel like there's a little bit of a separate like Michael Myers. I would say.
Oh, okay. Well, let's keep it to like real people then.
I would say.
Well, even Thanos not real.
I get you though. I get what you mean. Kaiser Soze.
Yeah. Well, you could just say even Kevin Spacey and Seven, or Usual Suspects as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Agent Smith, Matrix.
Oh, absolutely.
I would say because when to me, like those characters, like as soon as they're on screen, like even like Joker, as soon as like he pulls the mask off and you realize like he's been orchestrating that robbery and everything, there's just something like the movie just goes up a notch, and you feel also this sense of dread from there on out, like when you see what they're capable of, like even a Thanos when he snaps Loki's neck and he kicks the shit out of Thor and everything, and Hulk and everything. So it's like from there on out, Anton Chigurh, you're just like afraid for anybody that's around these people. And Agent Smith does that, like a scene like we went on one of our previous episodes when we talked about like the subway scene.
Oh,
when he shoots the phone and he's like, Mr. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
but then more like he's beginning to believe.
Yeah, no,
that shit is a classic.
Yeah, he's a good pull. I'll see your Mr. Smith, and I'll raise you the T-800 from Terminator 1.
Oh, well, like
the first one. Well, not the one that I was talking about, the original Terminator.
Yeah, well, because like you get that sense of dread every time he's on screen, bro. And even when he's down to his skeleton, you're just like,
that shit is a horror movie at that point.
Even the T-1000 too.
Yeah,
those are all
both of them
type of antagonists, villains. With I do want to give all my flowers to General Zod, Michael Shannon, because he is a menace in this, and he is not stopping until the very end when he says, either you're going to die, Clark, or I die.
Oh, yeah, he's formidable for sure.
Such a formidable foe. But like, if I would put him on the tier 1, he'd probably be at that bottom of the tier 1. Like it's like, bro, you're on a good day. If you catch me on a good day, I put him on there, but he probably lives on that tier 2, I suppose. But he was just such a standout for this movie for me.
And I thought a great plot point in this movie is, and we learn this through flashbacks, young Clark struggling to control his powers in the classroom, and seeing like the hearing and the x-rays, being able to see through people, and just him having to learn how to channel that and control and hone his like senses. But when Zod arrives to Earth and he doesn't have that mask on, he is like plagued with like migraines. Like you can't even see straight. It's like blindingly like
it's like he's going
painful.
To puberty like he did.
Well, it's just like, yeah, the world is just overwhelming of all of your senses. So I thought that was a cool plot point, the way they brought that back, in Zod really struggling in terms of like trying to take over the planet. I thought the visuals, like with the terraforming that they were trying to do, were good, and
like the X-ray, like how they visualized that too. I thought that was like really well done. Yeah, all the effects too. Just all in all,
the laser eyes, like
like how like especially like when I noticed it a lot when Clark was doing like when his laser eyes, because it wasn't just like you know, you use it and then you could just get back to doing what you're doing. It's like as soon as he uses it, he has to like kind of look away and kind of like shake it off a little bit. Those are just like the small details, right? It makes it more realistic that he's using like laser eyes.
Yeah, I mean, also he should have been using them more. I get like he was trying to. I mean, that's obviously can be very dangerous for any innocents around. But bro, Superman is a brawler. He is not a fighter.
Yeah.
He's like Hulk. And you saw what happened to Hulk when he ran up with Thanos. He put them paws on him.
Yeah.
He was hitting him with the combos this nigga ain't never seen.
Well, that's why like...
And like, you saw that with Clark. He was getting his ass beat. He was struggling.
Well, that's why
when he had to face somebody who was as strong as him.
I wanted to see Clark just get his ass whooped, because I'm like, he's literally like, when obviously we're just following the story, like, he put on the suit and he hasn't even had on like the actual real suit for a while.
Yeah, he's early in his career.
Yeah, he's super early. Fair, and you're going up against, like, I don't mind Jor-El putting the paws on Zod, but I wish like they would. I mean, yeah, Clark is kind of getting his ass whooped, but I'm like, I kind of wanted to see him get his ass whooped just a little bit more. I want to see Zod
some
like
blood.
Yeah, that's it. They should have used some more, like, to use your reference, like Thanos beating the shit out of Hulk, where he's using like combos and like kneeing him in the face and stuff. Like as soon as Zod had that moment where he's like, "Where do you train? On a farm?" I was like, that's when they should have like upped the combat and then like really show Zod just like pow, 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 like doing some combo, like some fucking 10
Giving it the business.
Tekken fucking like Street Fighter top combos, man. I want to see that
3.
like perfect. Like I want to see that type of shit. I mean,
flawless victory.
Yeah, he's getting kind of worked in. Like Zod just kind of like Superman is able to get his neck a little bit at the end, kind of luckily. But I wish I would have seen Superman just get his ass cooked a bit more. Like maybe draw some more blood, bust his face up a little bit.
Yeah, because sometimes they make him so overpowered. It's like I remember watching the cartoon. Darkseid was stomping on fucking Superman.
Yeah.
He's like, you belong underneath my heel.
Dude, now I think about it, you know who they did really well with her fight scenes was the female Fiora.
Oh.
I think that's, I'm not sure how that's how you pronounce the character's name, but when they showed her and she's whooping the, like she's just doing those like little speed checks and just fucking everybody up.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm like, they should have did that, but just times like 10 for Zod against Superman, because all like her fight scenes, I thought those were well shot, well done, and they made her a nice formidable foe as well.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. Her and the other soldier were fighting Superman. Yeah, he was struggling.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, he was 2-on-1.
I was like, it was a 2v1 for his, like, his first real fight. I'm like, yeah, this is a handicap match.
Yo, for real, hell in a cell.
Throw in the damn towel, man.
Yo, man, okay, can we get some backup?
Dude, did you see? To go off a quick little tangent in the weeds, real quick. Did you see Flash?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, like they brought her back and that little soldier, but they had Batman fighting those two, and Batman was kind of doing his little thing against those two, but like that's when Flash had to keep going back in time because Batman kept dying, and then that's when he gets stuck in the Speed Force and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to see some of these characters reprise their role and seeing like an alternate version of like what would have happened in this scenario. Yeah,
I was gonna say, man, the best part of the best thing about the Flash was Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
seeing him in the suit again.
Yeah, man. It was pretty. I mean, the whole movie was okay. I don't think the movie like sucked or anything like that.
No, it was okay.
There was just some effects and just like some choices that I was like,
seeing him run after he loses his powers. Oh man.
I wish I would have got a little bit more of that, because I remember obviously an iconic Marvel scene. This is what we could do, like if we do a best movie moments part 2 would be Quicksilver in the saving people from the mansion.
Oh yeah,
when like they're showing him like zooming around and stuff, like they do nothing similar to that, but they show Flash like cruising through the city and like catching up to Batman and stuff. Yeah, but I was like, man, I wish we would have got this a little bit more.
That scene
maybe
is
I'm being greedy, but it's like I mean, but a little more.
That scene is just such a, I think, underappreciated moment in the Marvel cinematic like timeline, because they're playing that dope ass Eurythmics Sweet Dreams.
Yeah, bro, perfect song choice.
Oh my god, man, that scene was kick ass. But even the previous scene when they break out, the other scene, when they break out Magneto, and he goes around the kitchen, and
the song choice for that is just as good.
I was like, yo, this is a beautiful song. Yeah, add this to my playlist.
Yeah, I remember in that the second one, or it was Apocalypse. The movie wasn't great, but that scene was good. But I remember just watching it, and then you see the car just slowing down. You see the bee's wings start slowing down, and you're like, kind of like, what the fuck? But then you see the shoe come sneakers. In. You're like, oh, and then Sweet Dreams kicks in.
And he's looking at the Xavier School of the Gifted.
That shit was fucking good.
Oh man, yeah, that is a fun scene. He does a good job. I like that actor.
Yeah, he's obviously he's really famous in the American Horror Story universe. I feel like that show has definitely fallen off for me personally. I love American Horror Story. Like the first few seasons of it, like they were just knocking them out the park for me personally. Like, yeah, you can have like your favorites and your least favorites, but they were like pretty consistent up until the last like few seasons for me. Like once they brought in like Kim Kardashian, I was like, all right.
Isn't that like the AIDS season about dealing like with AIDS?
Some
like,
or no, they had one where it's like New York, yeah, and like kind of like
in the 80s, like they were like
yeah.
like in the LGBTQ
Yeah,
community,
yeah,
like
exactly. They had
that
one.
world.
Yeah, they had like one where it was like the first half of the season was like a theme, and then the second half of the season was a completely different theme.
Interesting.
And then like after that, that's when they brought in Kardashian, and she's like this like some sort of devil vampire weird shit. I don't know.
I saw the season where they were in like the psychiatric hospital. I don't remember what season.
Asylum. That's one of the early seasons. Yeah,
I saw like I started that one and I got through some of it, but I didn't finish it.
It's pretty good. Like I really messed with like the first season. The one with the witches is really good. Asylum, like that, it's okay. It's probably my least favorite of those three.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to Apocalypse, was like arguably my favorite, just because that's when like that's almost like their Avengers Endgame, because they start bringing in multiple seasons as everything's connected in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
I feel like maybe they start getting like not as connected later on, but that one they start bringing in like some of the old characters, and so that was like really well done. And then they had, man, we're in the weeds right now because we're on American Horror Story, but just to cap it off, like the season where they have, it's called 1984. That first like half of the season, I thought was like, okay, we're like some Jason Friday the 13th vibes. They're at like a camp. There's a killer around. You got the Night Stalker like cruising around somewhere. The intro song was sick. Like you get these 80s like retro vibes.
Okay.
But then they just lost the whole plot like towards the end. I was like, I don't know where we went with this, but
you lost me.
Yeah, you have a killer intro though. That shit was sick. But yeah, we went off on a huge in the weeds right now.
Well, I'll just say with that, man, you want to pivot to scores?
Yeah, I'm down. I can start it off, Murrow.
All right.
For Man of Steel, man, I'm giving it a 3.5. It just, for the things that like keep it from like reaching like a higher up, is just obviously like just some of the color choices, the tone, the runtime. I feel like for something like this could have been like shaved down a little bit, or at least if you're going to have it this long, add some like some sort of levity like to it a little bit, like add some moments in there where it could just break up some of the seriousness, where it just feels a little bit more relaxing for me personally. But like the fighting scenes, the performances by Michael Shannon, Russell Crowe, the movie's well shot, it's well made, but especially when you compare it to James Gunn, like this just not like my style of Superman. I don't necessarily disagree with like the whole like General Zod killing thing. I feel like he was just kind of put in that position, so he had to do what he had to do. But it, like, I'm just not a huge Superman fan in general. I'm more of a Batman type dude and a Marvel guy.
Yeah,
but I feel like just the Superman character was done a little bit better in the James Gunn universe, and that one was like, if I had to give you a quick score on that one, I'd probably give that one probably a 4. It just fits a little bit more my style. But all in all, this is it's a well-made film, and just to say it too, like if you have Man of Steel, the Batman, Superman, the extended one, because they shore up some plot holes in that movie for me, and then the Zack Snyder version of the Justice League. I thought that's a solid trilogy all in all, like all like solid, well-made films. The action is great, performances are good, but I just feel like with some of just like the tone of the movie, the color choices, it just feels there's just some stuff to be desired. But 3.5 though for me. What about you, sir?
For me, this is a 3. I go back to what I said earlier in the conversation. Superman just really isn't my cup of tea when it comes to superhero movies. He just, I don't know, maybe there's a storyline out there that would be really captivating for me. I've heard that there's one, I think it's like Red Dawn or something to that effect, where Superman lands in the Soviet Union, not in
the
America.
Animated one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I've heard that's a really great storyline. So maybe I just haven't been exposed to I mean, I think some of it is also I haven't been exposed to maybe some really great storylines revolving around him. But I tend to like this character more in the collective, whether it's alongside Batman or just the Justice League. But there are things, there are definitely things about this movie that I appreciate. I do think that the acting from Michael Shannon and hell, even Kevin Costner, as well as Russell Crowe, I think that there's like some really great acting here. I think that the tough thing is that Henry Cavill, I don't know, he's not, I think he does a fine job, but whenever they recast Superman, it's always a character that an actor that I really don't know. And I don't know, like, it feels like they're a relatively newbie. They almost seem like there's like relatively like a newbie to the acting game. I was just like, I kind of want, be nice to see like a more established actor.
Yeah.
Well,
it's probably like maybe people like they grab somebody a little bit more unknown to try to have that disconnection. Because maybe if like I think because they showed in Flash like Nick Cage was supposed to be Superman at one point. So maybe just like seeing him in that character, you're just constantly thinking like that's just Nick Cage in an outfit. So maybe having somebody unknown, maybe it tends to, but like they do that with Batman a little bit more.
I was going to say
they had Ben Affleck in there, and I wasn't thinking like that's just Ben Affleck in Batman.
I mean Christian Bale. I mean I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember if people were really optimistic about him being cast in that role. I mean Christian Bale is a great actor. I know I say that confidently now, but I don't really remember at the time if that was controversial. I mean, we talked about off mic. Michael Keaton was very controversial.
Yeah.
People did not think he was going to be able to do that. Exactly. Yeah. Multiplicity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say with other characters though, I mean, Chris Hemsworth, I mean, as Thor, I guess, was he relatively unknown at that time?
I think he was a little bit more unknown, but even like a Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man.
But Robert Downey Jr., he had his career had definitely, you know, he was battling things outside, you know, in his personal life that took him
it's
off
still,
track.
it's like when
but
you
he was
see
in
him,
Zodiac.
he was
still doing his thing.
When you see
Tropic
him, you're just
Thunder.
like, you're just like, whoa, that's such and such. But like maybe when Henry Cavill got it, a lot of people, the masses, would just be like, who's this guy? I don't know. But
yeah. But that said, I do think it's kind of fun going back. It was fun going back and actually seeing this movie for the first time and just kind of being transported back to that time, 2013. And yeah, just checking this movie out. It was definitely had some, like the scenes on Krypton were a strong point for me. And like I said, the acting from some of the other leads, supporting characters, yeah, they really helped. They elevated this movie for me.
Man, two quick things though. I forgot to mention I just want to give a little shout out to I'll just call it like the first flight scene when like Superman gets the suit on and he's cruising around. I'm guessing like he's somewhere in like Antarctica or something like that. Just like the score when it's hitting, and like I love like the whatever like the sound editing they do when like Superman hits like that second gear when he's flying, when you hear that little boof. Like I love that, like that whole scene, and then you hear Russell Crowe's dialogue like also over it. Dude, it was just like, ooh. Now I'm kind of like, it kind of gets you pumped up and like, I want to go fucking fly around like this. And then like he goes into outer space a little bit. He's kind of just getting his bearings.
He's kind of learning how to fly, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Those were fun scenes.
And I want to say, Hans Zimmer did the music. So like hearing his iconic like score over like that scene, I was like, God damn, that's really iconic for me. But one thing I also wanted to ask you too, I was talking to my wife about it with Pa Kent. Obviously, I get it. He's like talking about how like I get the emotional, like the drama behind of like, you know, the world ain't ready to see a Superman and all that type of stuff. And like, what would they think? And I get it and all that. But then when the tornado's coming and your leg is trapped and you can't walk and he wants to go over there and save him, but then he gives him the rock gesture, like, just bring it. I would have just did exactly what Dwayne Johnson. I would have been like, bring your ass over here, son. Come and save me.
Yeah.
I know what I said, but I'm going to need
I changed my mind.
I changed my mind, boy.
You know, I thought that that scene, though, ended up being, like, I mean, clearly he shouldered, like, emotionally that it really hit him.
Yeah.
And I imagine he felt, like, guilt.
Yeah.
From that. And he says that to Lois, I think. Like, I let my father die. You know, I watched him die. I allowed him to die because he didn't think the world was ready.
Yeah.
And so I thought, like, that kind of humanized him, that moment.
It's like, I get
of not being able to be there for a parent the way that we wish we could have. Like, I think that's something that a lot of children feel.
Oh, yeah.
Can relate to.
And it's like, I get like why they made that choice and everything.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, if you were in that position, would you have done that? Like,
yeah.
Not if you were Pa Kent, but if you're Bryce Fraser and you're like,
listen,
it's like, bro, I don't want to die by a tornado. Oh man,
No.
I want to die in the arms of Diane Lane.
Yeah.
That sounds a little bit better to me right now.
Yeah, 100%. Like, hey, listen, I changed my mind.
Man, I feel like I was gonna mention like something else real quick, but I can't quite remember it, so I'll just have to let it go.
All right. Well, that wraps up our episode for this week, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.